November, the month of thankfulness and gratitude, a time to reflect on all that we're grateful for and appreciate in our lives. Unless you're just not feeling it. Anyone ever felt like you're going through the motions of being grateful, but kind of forget just how powerful gratitude can really be? Well, this is the topic I've been praying through that has inspired today's junk journal page. And as we go through the creative process, we're also going to look at 3 practical ways that we can experience the transformative power of gratitude in our lives, even when we're not feeling it. Let's go! Shaboom! Thankfulness time! I love Thanksgiving. It's so important to me. It's such an awesome time, and a tradition we have in my family is to go around the table and say 2 things we're thankful for. So I'd love to extend that out to any of you watching. What are 2 things that you are feeling thankful for today? Go ahead and write them in the comments. Alright, so gathering the supplies here, just knowing I wanted it to be Thanksgiving themed. I was pulling out all the browns and kind of oranges, and I liked these stickers with the leaves that are changing colors. And I really love this little paper here that has these chairs all over it because it reminds me of everybody being gathered around the table together. I had the aesthetic, right, that I was going for, but I did not know what little phrase I wanted to be written on the page. I'm praying about this, like, okay, Lord, I've been trying to be really mindful of gratitude and thankfulness all month. Why do I feel like I'm not feeling it, you know? Some days it has been when I go to write in my journal where I'm like, I'm tearing up. I'm feeling so grateful about something. So there's been those moments, but other days I have to be honest, it kind of can become like a checklist kind of deal, right? It's like, oh man, I don't want it to lose its flavor. So when that kind of starts happening, I'm like, let's go back to the roots, right? I just gotta look up the definition of gratitude and thankfulness. So do a little Google search, got myself some definitions, and the first one that comes up, it says pleased and relieved. And then we got gratitude, and I really like this part about readiness to show appreciation for and to return kindness. That second half stood out to me, that return kindness. And then looking it up again, I think this was on Webster, consciousness of benefit received. That's kind of the first thing I think of. Expressive of thanks, but then there it is again, well pleased, glad. I was really zeroing in on this sense of relief, that really stood out to me. And as I was praying into that, I felt the Lord kind of bringing this perfect phrase for this junk journal, which will be revealed at the end as we go through this video. It just had me thinking though about how transformative and powerful gratitude can really be in our lives. Number 1, it can calm our minds. And I'm just reminded of this time when I was just super anxious one night and I just couldn't sleep, could not stop my mind thinking. And I remember telling myself okay, let's try to be grateful. Even though I don't feel grateful, let's just start small. I'm grateful for this pillow that my head is laying on right now. I'm grateful for this blanket, for breath in my lungs. And just that trail of thanks just kind of kept unraveling. By the end of the night, I was like, I'm just so thankful, God, even for these trials, even for this anxiousness, because it's pushing me to you. I went from complete anxiousness to this total peace of mind because I've just gone through this whole trail of things I'm thankful for, remembering how faithful you are. And that goes into our second point, which is power to shift our perspective. Obviously, it has the power to shift our perspective when we're facing different problems and trials in life. It can also shift our perspective in our relationships when you're dealing with a difficult person, someone that maybe you guys just clash, or maybe you're just really angry with someone. There had been times when I was just struggling, right? I was having a hard time with someone. I was feeling so angry towards them. And I was just like, you know what, rather than dwell on those things, I pulled out my pen and piece of paper and I just started writing down all the things about them I was grateful for. And it just shifts your perspective and it allows you to see them through loving eyes, to have more patience and empathy. And then there's the things that we can take for granted. We can be overwhelmed or complaining because there's so many dirty dishes, or the house is a mess, the laundry needs to be done. But shifting that perspective of, no, I'm so grateful I have food and something to eat. I'm so grateful I have a home, I have shelter, and I'm grateful that I have enough clothes to go through. These little things that we so easily can take for granted. So in all of these things, gratitude is the pivot point to shift our perspective. And the final point was that it inspires us to give back. Like that definition said, there's a readiness to return kindness. When someone does something for you, like something big, like they meet a big need in your life, that gratitude that you have, that changes you. And now you want to be able to do that for others. You begin to empathize more because you know what it's like. And when we become aware that our needs are being met, when we're focusing on the things we're grateful for, we are more content, and we can stop focusing on ourselves, and we begin to have more availability for others' needs. In my own life, I am so grateful. I feel overwhelmed by the amount of generosity I've experienced from friends and family over the years, and ultimately the gratitude in my heart for the things God has done in my life. If I'm honest though, I forget to hold to that. I forget all the ways that He has blessed me and transformed me and loved me through so many hard seasons. I have moments when I'm frustrated with God, when I feel like He isn't there and that He doesn't care. I let my emotions and circumstances get the best of my mind sometimes. And it's so silly how we can just let our mind forget, but we do. We are forgetful beings. But when I take the time to stop, to recall His faithfulness, and especially when I remember that first moment that He came into my life, it's like feeling the immense weight of relief I felt then all over again. I think that's why this concept of relief of gratitude really hit me as I looked up these definitions, as I really stopped to think about, wow, when I am so grateful, I do feel so relieved. I do feel so much gladness, and that's powerful. And it's my prayer that I won't lose sight of that I won't ever stop giving thanks and praise to God for what He has done. Even if my life feels like chaos sometimes and things don't go how I hope or desire, the greatest gift I have, that ultimately when all is said and done, I know the Lord. I am set free from the shadow that used to hold me down and lead me astray. And I will spend eternity in the presence of not only my majestic King, but also my greatest friend, the one who loves my soul so much so that He would die to save it. And fixing my eyes on that brings forth thankfulness with the greatest sense of peace and gladness. When I focus on that, it leads me to pen these words: Dear gratitude, do not depart. A reminder that even in the darkest of seasons, holding to gratitude will point us back to the light. And I'm so grateful to all of you who have subscribed to this channel. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out the playlist where I do more faith-based junk journaling, as well as my other creative videos on my channel. This has been KO, here with you to create eternal perspective. And scene! Woo!